Speaking Life by W.C. Blackmon. Excerpt from Seeds to Unfolding, Release, Freedom, Power. When we look closely at the different people around us or into the mirror, it is not uncommon to see individuals who have been broken or otherwise damaged by the bumps, bruises, and terrors that can sometimes play a temporary role in the living of life. The result of this unwelcomed reality is no less than and no more than you and me. But much like a little child when first learning their physical independence by way of resilience and vision that somehow sees beyond the present moment, we soon stand and take those necessary steps forward, one by one, until we prevail. Frederick Douglass wrote, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Perhaps a truer statement was never written. But what if in each time that we take that close but unobtrusive look at ourselves or others, we were to do so with eyes that do not judge, a heart that knows compassion, and a mind that truly comprehends love just because? Then, too, what if these were supported by a tongue that speaks life by way of encouraging words that strengthen and build confidence? With such definite and purposeful actions, could we possibly have a chance at healing damaged spirits and psyches that have been stretched out of shape? Could we not make that job of healing broken adults that much easier? These are heavy thoughts, but the accompanying actions equal to feather-light burdens when one considers the very possible results. Who does not have an aunt, uncle, brother, or sister who cannot use an encouraging word, a healing word? Who does not have a mother, father, daughter, son, or friend who cannot use an encouraging hug, a healing hug? Frederick Douglass also wrote, "I prayed for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs." What would our world be if through positive actions, each of us were to pray with our legs, our arms, our hearts, and most of all, our tongues? After all, the tongue truly does possess the power to speak life and help into those whom we love, those who are lost, as well as those who we do not know. The latter can be especially important. I will not ever forget my own personal experience in this. I was on the city bus on my way back home from my evening workout at the gym when a stranger sat next to me. After introducing himself as Ephraim, he immediately began sharing with me some recent experiences in his life. Individuals sharing with me their story was not an uncommon occurrence, so I simply listened. However, upon arriving at my stop and politely saying, "It was nice talking with you," Ephraim proceeded to exit the bus with me. This was certainly not a common occurrence. To be completely honest, at the time and even now, I felt that this move was heading into the weird and slightly uncomfortable status. Nevertheless, for the next hour or so, I attentively listened. In that short time, I learned much about this young man named Ephraim, not the least of which being that he was truly considering taking his own life. This, of course, caused me to be deeply troubled. First, because I believed him, and second, because Ephraim refused to accept assistance through a prevention hotline or any other form of prevention counseling. After going through everything, he then said to me with the only confidence I had heard in his voice that evening, "So, what should I do?" I was not then, and am not now, a professional counselor. What was I to do? What was I to say? I chose to do the only action I felt I could. I gave Ephraim my honest, best, and most positive advice, followed up by a whole lot of encouragement and my sincere belief in him. I had only just met the guy. Nevertheless, my belief in him was strong for the simple fact that somehow he had spotted out someone who would listen to him and give him the time and effort he needed. The final thing was that he listened to my every word. Perhaps foolishly, but by then I as well had a thought that maybe our meeting was somehow divine in nature. I wasn't 100% sure of this at the time, but around 2 years later, my inclination would be proven correct. Over the next 6 or so months, I met Ephraim in passing 2 or 3 times. Each time we shook hands, shared a bro hug, and I gave him a quick word of encouragement. The next time I heard from Ephraim was about 18 months later by way of phone call on a Saturday evening around 9:30. I won't ever forget it. I was in bed, alone. My energy was extremely low. While I was not on the steps of taking my own life, I was truly depressed. So much so that I almost didn't answer the phone when it rang. However, wanting and needing any distraction from my current state, I answered. Imagine my surprise to find that it was Ephraim. He had not ever called before. Honestly, until then, I had forgotten that I had provided him with my phone number. In his own words, Ephraim told me how he had accomplished those seemingly impossible goals that he had shared with me. In his obvious New York accent, he then proceeded to thank me. If not for you listening and talking with me, I never would have had the courage to try. I don't know what would have happened with me. To date, that remains one of the fastest and best phone calls I have ever had. If I would have uncaringly or otherwise brushed Ephraim off during that first encounter, he would have never been able to call me on the phone when I so desperately needed to hear an especially good word. The truth is, you never know when or how what you give is going to come back to you or in what magnitude. This is one reason why I am a huge proponent for always speaking life, because someday in the future, it will speak it back into you just when you or someone you love need it most. This is also how we move further and faster on the road of victory.
Hi there. I hope you continue to enjoy these audios, videos, and messages. Even more important, I hope that you are taking advantage of the opportunity to speak life into someone else's heart and mind. I had a friend to tell me after reading that particular passage in the book, Season Unfolding, he said, you know, WC, everyone isn't a motivational speaker, so they can't really speak life. Let me tell you the truth, as I told him. Everyone may not be a motivational speaker, but anyone can speak life and therefore help assist in transforming another into their very best self. Not only that, we can speak life into ourselves. Encourage yourself, encourage others, share what's good, and make them a little bit better. Make you a little bit better. And I guarantee you, if you speak life, it will get spoken back into you or someone whom you truly love when it's most needed. Again, I'm WC Blackmon, and I truly appreciate you for subscribing, sharing, and commenting. We love to hear positive feedback on the different messages and audios, as well as the videos and music. Thank you so very much. See you next time on the road of victory.